favor. This is one more, please.
The octopus,
Okay.
and then for the meal you get the lamb pasta
At nido.
al nido.
Okay.
Y eso,
Con eso ya.
super, literal.
I
And then you can enjoy a cocktail or wine. They have really good wine.
I
I don't
like.
know if you're a wine person.
I'm not picky when it comes to alcohol. I can drink the banquet course, but I can also drink a good martini.
Yeah.
So I'm not
You.
picky. You know, what's that the one beer that hipsters drink?
IPA.
No,
IPA.
PBR,
PB
past Blue Ribbon
That's
or
what
whatever.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
That's like
Or
the
High Life.
they used to be like
the champagne of beers.
$5 six pack back
Hey,
in the
man.
days.
This not no more in Austin, baby.
I know, dude.
The place I went to yesterday, they had $20 plus cocktails. I'm like, what's
Where
going
did you
on,
go
man?
yesterday?
I went to the proper hotel, to the
Yep.
restaurant there.
Mhm.
It's called Peacock.
What did you do yesterday?
Yesterday was my 2-year wedding anniversary with my lovely wife, Madison.
Happy
Cheers
anniversary.
to
Cheers.
her and
Salud,
you.
salud. Cheers.
Gracias a Hub Squad
Salud,
porque
Hub Squad.
nos dio las
Cheers,
cervezas
cheers.
para celebrar el aniversario de Koke y otro episodio más.
Zapatista.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was
I got
special.
the Lord Sanate.
I took the day off, so that was kind of the end of my 3-day weekend
Okay.
right there. Didn't do absolutely nothing. I made her breakfast, you know. We had all of our meals together. We just hung out at the house, and then we went out for a night in the town. So
That's good, man.
it was special.
How late?
Not late. We were there till
Midnight?
no.
11.
When I say night out, I'm talking about
8
That's
o'clock.
why I asked.
a Monday night. So it's like by like 10, we were already on our way home.
Good. Yeah, that's a good. Even on weekends, I like
Yeah.
to be home or going home by 8, 9, 10. 11's
For
a
sure.
little pushing it.
Yeah.
Yo soy
I
de-
felt old, but bueno, yeah.
De 2 de la mañana para después es cuando llego a la casa.
I know.
nah, man.
Really?
I love being
Richie,
out late.
What made you tweet that? What
Whoa.
about? What was the
that
question?
a
What was the
drunk
question?
Oh, the question was, when do you make the best decisions before 2 a.m. or after 2 a.m.?
I was thinking you were talking about Rodney Redes because me and a few False 9 have like a inside joke about Rodney Redes. That's why I was like, oh, is he getting at Rodney Redes? And I forgot to reply. But you make them before.
Before?
Obviously.
Nothing good happens after 2 a.m.
Yeah,
For
I
real?
know.
I-
Or midnight.
that's what I responded like, because I was like, look,
Salud.
no regrets, right?
Yeah.
Made a lot of great decisions, a lot of bad decisions, but I could tell you most of my bad decisions came after 2 a.m.
Mhm.
So, yeah, man, you live and you learn.
I feel like a lot of my memories are after 2 a.m. Like, I don't know. It could just be like a thought. It could be, anything. The creative part, most of the stuff that I have, it's done after 2 a.m.
That's
so,
true. To specify the environment, though. So if you're at 2 a.m. on your own at home or in your creative space is different than 2 a.m. de peda, de parranda.
Pero
out-
también
out-
hay unos que
out and about in the-
son
in the
unas
streets.
clásicas que even you don't have to be out and about. It could be at a house with
Yeah.
friends, or it could be in your favorite bar or whatever. Pero hay unas clásicas que son para recordar.
Yeah, some memories that are worth a lifetime for sure.
I do, but mine's before 2 a.m. But
Okay.
when I am getting ready for bed and I'm already in bed and just on my phone, I do get the most active imagination right before bed.
Mm.
I do. I don't know why. Sometimes when I'm hiking, it depends during the daytime, but más I have noticed my brain just kind of like races. I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And I don't take melatonin.
You don't take melatonin?
I used to.
No. I hear it's pretty bad for you because then you get dependent on taking melatonin under
I get
fall asleep.
nightmares.
But then melatonin helps you feel sleepy. It doesn't help you get that quality of sleep.
Yeah.
So, I have a sleep cocktail that I take that I actually
shit.
recommended to our.
Xanax?
Nah, it's actually pretty natural stuff. It's like L-theanine, apigenin, and
Cabrón.
L-thornate. So
Ay, güey.
totally safe stuff. You can get it off the
H-E-B.
shelf at HEB or anywhere. But man, when I take those things and drink a little bit of water, I have a good quality.
You're a science guy, so go a little bit more into detail if you don't mind for me, because I may take, I may go to the store.
So they're supplements.
Right.
They're supplements. They're not. They don't necessarily make you feel sleepy. What they do is they help you relax, and they help you kind of just, just breathe a little bit better and feel just more at ease. They work with reducing your anxiety. So a lot of times I think that my mind's like yours. Sometimes it races a lot at night because I'm kind of anxious about the next day. But when I take these, it kind of like mellows me out a little bit and helps me get to a good point of sleep and stay asleep better throughout the night. And I feel more rested the next day.
I feel a connection. We both went to UT, so maybe that's why our mind
Hey, man. Hey, hooking, baby. Hey.
Elite
Hey, man. Yo, bitch, Clear Lake, represent. The production guy told me if you can get a little closer to the table.
For sure.
Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry about that, sir.
Nah, but man, if anybody wants to know my sleep cocktail, I'll write it down. I'll send it to you. It works.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's good to know.
I've never really had a problem with sleeping. I mean, more so I have a problem with not sleeping, but that's a different story because I'm always up to doing something.
Yeah.
But I do feel like before I go to sleep, I like to have at least an hour or even 30 minutes relaxing over some dumbest shit. And it could be like a meme. It could be like a random YouTube video.
Getting that screen time.
But that helps on like when I wake up, I don't wake up in a bad mood.
It helps your mood.
It helps my mood.
I got you.
And it helps me relax and actually.
That's good. That's interesting to hear because that's a perspective that you don't hear a lot. You hear more often than not. Like that screen time before bed,
it's really
like
bad.
Prevents you from falling asleep.
Yeah.
But
hey, that's
man,
when I edit my videos.
Everybody's got to find their own way, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
As long as it's legal.
Or as long as you don't get caught.
It depends on the state.
Hey, it's all about what they can prove. Shout out.
Exactly.
True.
And shout out to our sponsors, Hop Squad. Drinking this Zapatista Mexican lager.
Igual.
And the Lord Sanate IPA.
I think that's my new favorite one. Hey. I've always been a Zapatista, but this one right here, it's hitting the spot.
You're developing a taste for it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. All right, so what's going on, man?
How was y'all's weekend?
What do you talk about?
Let's talk about y'all's weekend first. I know it was a busy weekend in every aspect. Let's start with Michelle.
Okay, my weekend was the opposite of busy. I didn't really do much.
Echaste la hueva.
I did. I disconnected. I didn't really watch the Austin FC game, or let's just clarify, I didn't watch the Austin FC game. I did go to the Austin FC 2 game. That was a lot of fun. Like I was telling Koke, it felt very high school. Like I was back in high school. I was in the bleachers. Saw a lot of familiar faces. Good soccer. The kids out there. Houston was really big compared to Austin's team. Like they're physically bigger and more stronger. Saw Kip Keller. The fans were chanting, in a positive way.
That's good.
After the game. So I'm sure it gave him a boost of confidence. But it was a really good game. I went there to see Cristo Vela play. He plays really good with the number 10, and I forgot his name, the number 10, but they play really good on the right side, right there on the wing. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talented kids coming up, so it's really good to see that. Also, shout out to Cap City SC, who also got the invite for MLS Next. Not from affiliated with Austin FC, but it's basically what they've been able to do within the local community here in Austin and develop kids, from ages 5 to 10 or something like that. I mean, I think they work all ages, but they got an invite to participate in the league, and they could even be facing Austin FC's academy team. So big ups to them. it means a lot to me personally, and it makes me happy because sometimes you get so discouraged if you're not part of Austin FC, but knowing that there's other ways to get known, and
good.
you know, colleges are able to see them.
Yeah.
You know, they'll get that exposure through colleges or even through MLS teams. So, but yeah, that was kind of like my weekend. Didn't really do much. Just hung out and, you know, watched some basketball. So I changed it up a bit when it came to sports. And then obviously
some March Madness
and that whole situation. And then, that's really about it. What about you guys? Y'all did some fun stuff compared to mine.
Mine was not fun.
Tell us about it, Richie. Where were you?
I went camping.
Oof, I love camping, bro.
And I like your reaction when you said, I'm going camping. You did like this face, or I don't know, I can only imagine your face. You went,
So the cool thing is, so we usually go with a group of friends, right? And they're cool. Pero es como que, you know, como que falta algo. Luckily,
that's
there's two of my friends.
Superstar?
No, like two of my friends that came, they're like, I'm pretty like close to. So that helped because, you know, they understand the jokes whenever I say them. So stuff like that. Maybe it was more to accommodate me, I guess.
It's your tribe. You felt that they were a part of your tribe.
Yeah, I felt like, okay, cool. Like, we're here. And I'm a type of person, like, when it's a night off, all I want to do is just hang out. And I don't want to do work. And when you go camping, you have to do work. Put up a tent, take out the tent. You know, you have to do this, you have to do that. And
he's
I'm
a
like,
city girl.
I'm a city. I say fresa.
City boys.
And I would say I'll give you one. I did, you know, take naps in the hammock after,
nice.
you know, after consuming what is called, you know, una gomita. Now that was cool.
Melatonin?
And then, yeah, melatonin.
Gotcha.
Vitamina, mis Flintstones.
Dale.
And then, and you know, in the river, I was on a paddleboard. Literally, like, I stood up for a little bit. For the most part, I wanted to get a tan. So I laid like this for 5 minutes, turned around, you know, facing down, para que me dé en la espalda.
You got the whole ball.
The whole ball
Nice
and everything.
Mira, sí, se ve bronceadito.
So that part was cool. And then we did a hike. Tomamos algo que se llama, que no es cerveza, pero sabe a cerveza, you know, and it was good.
¿Kombucha?
No, es la prima de modelo.
Dale.
It was good because it was after hiking, and I really haven't been drinking lately, but this one right here is me eché 6 y ni la sentí.
Wow.
It's because I was, you know, like I was like, it was hot, and like, you know what? I went hiking. We did it. A 6-pack is well deserved. You know?
Nice, dude.
What about yourself?
All that hard work, dude. All the hard work you do for camping that you don't like is for those small moments.
But I can have it somewhere else.
That's what makes it worth it.
But I can have it somewhere else.
Let me tell you, man. Maybe you don't know it. Maybe you don't feel it. But nature, it revitalizes you, man. It gives you that energy that you need in order to keep doing what you do every day.
You know what revitalizes that word? Unos golazos de la América, eso sí.
Oh, well, it was an international break. No wonder estás bien apagado.
¿Verdad que sí?
Oh, man. No, my weekend was great. I had a 3-day weekend. Had a bunch of family in town. My brother came in, and a bunch of my wife's family came in, all for the purpose of celebrating my baby niece's first birthday. It's huge. It's more of a celebration for us.
Yeah.
And for her parents, you know. Shout out to Avalancha, my cuñada, Tercea, for keeping this small being alive and thriving. And it's just amazing to see her grow every day. And we had a blast, man. You know, my brother-in-law, Avalancha, he likes to make his pork, like nice pork leg, like hizo carnitas. Bro, he made these pork sliders that were amazing, man. He really went all out, and they had the house set up all nice. We had a sunflower piñata. I was in charge of the photos, so I was just like snapping stuff. I felt like Richie over there, Richie photos. I took a bunch of photos that we actually ended up like watching on the big screen. I didn't expect that. It made me feel a little like self-conscious, like, shit, I didn't know they're gonna play them on the screen, bro. But
you got the SD card reader.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Alexis has every gadget available. So he's like, oh yeah, we could put it on the screen. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so
I love the tech guys. Girls.
Yeah. So it was awesome. We also watched the Austin FC game at the crib with the people that stayed behind, because we also had some of the party guests that ended up going to the game. And it was great. It was actually very nice to see like a big kind of family friends gathering that maybe 5 or 4 years ago wouldn't watch soccer all together.
Alexis, Rubio, Ramiro.
Maybe they would in their own time, but not at a party. So it was badass. Like people came in like FC gear, you know, like and they were excited about watching the game. And you know, we don't usually watch it together because everybody has their own seats or their own group. So it was cool watching a game with the family and friends that were there. Obviously, there was some drinking involved, you know, here and there.
Se armaron los madrazos como buenos tíos que son.
Yeah, dude, I definitely got my tío on for sure. It was a great time. And then to cap it off with a little ribbon of gold was my 2-year anniversary yesterday. So I got to commemorate 2 years of marriage to my wonderful wife, Madison, in the most special way, like what she values the most, quality time. Like literally, like
language.
My day off is here for you. I'm just dedicated to you. All these moments. So.
Y te dijo, vete a lavar los trastes, vete a lavar
No, literally,
la ropa.
I mowed the lawn. I washed the dishes.
That's good, yeah.
But we went out for a nice dinner and walked around the downtown Austin and just kind of commemorate, like just thought back to all of our wedding memories, but also thinking to the future, like what does the next 2 years look like, you know? So
what does it look like?
Well, we determined that we just want to continue to enjoy our life together through traveling, through family, through friends, and through experiences. We know that there's like changing dynamics and stuff with potential growing a family, right?
Yeah.
So we want to enjoy the last glimmers of like our selfishness together. But obviously plan for the future as well. So.
I'm here to support. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Congrats.
That's good, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It's good to hear.
I'm happy to be back here with you guys. It's been a while since we've been in studio, so we got a lot to talk about.
Feels like it, huh?
It is. I know. It's been like last time
you guys were here.
We were here.
And then we had Bali and Primo.
And then Neff. Yeah.
And then finally.
And then we're all here. Yes. Austin FC, Ty. I kind of felt like it was an improvised lineup to a point.
This whole season's been improvised, bro.
I think it was the lineup that we have been seeing since preseason, even the first game. I mean, look, you know, the reason I also didn't watch the game is because I knew I had already the storyline in my head. Either they were gonna win by a 1-0 or they were going to tie. I kind of already had suspected. I was like, this is Josh Wolf. He's not going to do anything different. He's going to have the same formation. He has no clue what's going to happen. The same narrative. Defense is probably going to be really bad. You know, forwards aren't able to score. You know, Wolf is trying to see what he can do. He's really lost. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy my Saturday night. And then I saw the score and I was like, yeah, I mean, you can literally predict this and I'm not even a witch. You know, it's like, it's kind of sad, you know? No, it's kind of sad. You kind of know what Wolf is going to do, you know? His formation's all, and then, you know, the narrative and, you know, I didn't hear the post game and I know you guys, but some things were said and have been said about Diego and about other players. And there's a time where you kind of need to take accountability that you really don't know what you're doing. For sure.
I agree. I know I go back to last week when I said I was supportive of Wolf because I felt like he had some ideas of what he wanted to do the first season, second season. He implemented it well because he actually took advantage of the players that he has, and he still has. But he changed all of that up to, you know, I don't know what he had in mind for this season, but it's not working out. I was very similar thing. I didn't get to watch the game. I did watch the replay And Sonny was actually, our friend Sonny was actually in the Spanish broadcast part. And it was just very same thing, like you said. When we were like, we couldn't watch the game because of the reception.
Right.
But I told my friend, I was like, look, we're going to score early goal. If we score an early goal, we're good. Pero no la vayan a cagar al final y les metan gol. And that's what pissed me off. It's like,
damn, you're a witch too, bro.
It's like, God,
witches
dang.
over here, man. Hogwarts over here.
Yeah, and literally I was like, because like I couldn't, get the reception of the result, and not until I think I asked my boy Michael, and he's like, hey, dude, he's like, got tired in the 85th minute. I'm like,
no,
shit, man. And I was like, I was hoping maybe Gallagher scoring va a abrir la lata y dos más y va a regresar, but now it's just, where are we gonna go next? That's my concern, is like, what's gonna happen next? Is do we have a staff that's complacent with, we're sixth place, we're the same as last year, but no, you don't have a staff that really wants to like go out there and kill it.
Yeah.
Or have we had a game that we need a breakthrough?
No, definitely. Like after seeing Wolf's post game interview after tying 1-1 with Colorado, who was bottom of their standings.
Right.
It seems like a lot of the same shit keeps coming out of his mouth. Like, if you look back at last season, we're somewhere similar to where we were points wise. To me, it just screams like this guy who is trying to maybe kind of downplay the situation.
Yeah. Good
PR, everything. That little meme of like things are on fire and the little dog is like, we're okay. I get that feeling from him. Obviously we have to gamble defensively by putting in Lima as a center back with Bring as a center back, and for the most part it seemed like we were gonna get away with it, but thanks to this incredible heroic game by Stuver had save after save, and these were quality saves, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like the standout player along with Johnny Gallagher, like he's coming off of a tremendous run. He's tons of energy. He pushes forward. He drops back.
Yep.
He's doing everything that
he's in shape.
Exactly. He's in shape. He's focused, and he spoke a little bit about that in his celebration. That I think Iturralde or someone asked him, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
He's like, focused.
Like, it's the Rashford celebration. A shout out Rashford. Man, you baby. Anyways, off topic. He mentioned how the celebration is highlighting his focus, his self-confidence, his self-awareness, and his like not listening to all the negative energies around him. So like, good for him. And I wish that would get infected into some other players, such as Rigoni, such as even Zardes, such as players that like you just want to shake them a little bit. Like, come on, man, snap out of it. Because Zardes had one play where he was given a gift, but he did not look in shape. He missed the step. He didn't even get a shot off.
Several times, what I noticed, he didn't have the coordination that you would have as a player of his caliber.
Right.
Where he literally could have gone for it, but se cayó y no se levantó. And it was like in the midfield. It was just literally a pass he could have cut. We're and I think before the season started, I was, looking forward to how well the players were going to be in shape. What was going to be the plan to get these guys stronger, because last year maybe we needed a little more physicality. Like, what was, what did Josh Wolf and the staff had in mind to get these guys prepared?
We lost a lot of physicality.
Season. We lost a lot of physicality.
With Gabrielson leaving.
Yeah.
Romagna, obviously, he wasn't fit, but he had the physicality.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Right.
Felipe Martin, someone who was kind of physical, kind of crazy a little bit, gone. So, yeah, we did lose a lot of physicality, man.
Yeah, and that's one thing is like, Cascante injury. Yeah. So, and say at the end of the day, like, these are players that worked out for us last year, whether, Cascante had mistakes or whatnot, but ahí estaba. Galverson was there, pushing the players. And that's the one thing that I'm looking at in the preseason. Did Josh Wolf overthink his plan?
Yeah. Or maybe he has the right plan and the players aren't doing
getting,
their part and
Yeah.
getting, you know, in
Yeah.
shape and
Not understanding the.
And I hope like maybe in the next press conference, you know, someone, if anybody is listening to this that's going to be at the press conference, ask them, Coach, what do you have in mind that we don't see?
Mhm.
That would be a good question to ask. Like, what are we not seeing?
well, he's
that
gonna be
you
like,
see?
well, can you expand on it? Because you need to be very specific with
Yeah.
him when you ask these questions, and then he, you know, because he's very, as he's very professional, but he's also, you know, PR. He wants
mass,
to, right?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Speaking of PR, there was this like, in my mind, kind of dumb video made. I saw on Apple about Rigoni and Coach Wolf's thoughts on his, you know, struggles. He's like, you know, once he's just in a rut. Once he gets out of this, he's going to score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. And I'm like,
you can't.
How are
you
you
can't
right?
put a player. You no puedes.
The math ain't mathing, bro. Like,
Yeah.
right.
I don't see that possible.
Yeah.
I don't see glimmers at, because first of all, he's not that type of player. He's not a goal scorer.
You know, it
Right.
could have been like, hey, he's here to assist. He's here to, and then I think Neff made a good point with Jorge yesterday, where es más de asistencia que de
Right.
meter goles.
Right.
Maybe we actually, our perception was not the right one from Rigoni, and he's actually meant to assist, which he could probably do great. And we're over here trying to have him score
But-
every single game.
Okay.
Right.
But if that's the case, how many assists does he have?
Pero también es de que, por lo bueno que, por lo que quiere la gente que él haga y no está preocupándose por esa parte, no se está enfocando en lo que realmente él puede hacer.
Right.
Not assisting, man.
Not assisting. That's the one thing. Like,
Cashing them checks, maybe, tal vez. But
And that's what I hope people realize, that with this new center back who's coming, like, he's here to assist. He's not here
He's
to
not the
make
answer.
the difference. Okay, like, everyone needs to calm down. Like, people are going crazy. You know, the guy hasn't played in so many games since I think last November. You know, he's here to obviously prove himself, but he's just here to assist while Austin FC's trying to figure out how they are handling the back line. But even then, it's going to be a while till we see him. It's not going to be till the end of April, mid-April.
that's what I'm saying. Is like, even like the signings that we get, they're all emergencies. And I really hope with this new guy, they actually put him in a good path and let him, like, have him watch games, you know, where Keller and Ambrotatic, you know, did the mistakes. Are like, hey, we can't be doing this. Like, we can't be doing this.
hey, don't do that.
Whatever you do, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Because that should be like, I mean, that shouldn't, we it's just, I'm just worried about, you know,
Right.
what's going on up there. Like, what are they doing? You know, like, even the players that they left, you know, when did they know when they were going to leave? That's one thing I was worried. Like, hey, if you knew someone was going to leave, ¿por qué no planeaste? O si tenían ganas de irse, hey, you know, try to work out the deal for them to stay, or plan for, you know, for the future.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely lost. And, you know, I don't know if it's because of Claudio, who is still in their payroll. I don't know how active he is, but, you know, it seems like this guy that stepped in, he's also trying to work with Wolf, and
Ruben.
Wolf also, Ruben. And it's just, it's a mess, honestly.
Yeah.
I think this is a mess. And, you know, I feel like it's even worse because at least in the first season, there wasn't depth because they didn't have players. But this time they had already so much to prepare for, and they knew what they lacked, and nothing was done prior to this season, in my humblest opinion. It was a lot of energy went to the Austin FC too, which is great. But all these kids are playing Austin FC too, you know? Like, I mean, you know.
And then, like, say, or they got players to plan for the future.
Right.
But it's
we
kinda
need
like,
it now.
We need it now. That's the one thing. I heard a lot of people talking about Kip Keller for the future. Fondry was for the future.
Right.
Y ¿Cómo se llama?
Thumbs up.
Jeffal is for the future. Owen for the future. Okay. Those 5 players, okay, they could be Austin FC 2 building the future, but we need players now. Like, we needed players que vengan y den resultados. Y aparte, tengan experiencia en jugar partidos recientemente, no hace 6 meses, 7 meses.
Right.
That's what I'm like. I mean, it's a little frustrating because at the end of the day, like I don't want to be a person and like say this is space. I never wanted to make it where we wanted to just criticize, but I also wanted I can't, like as much as we want to support, dame con qué. Help me
Right.
help you.
Right.
Where is our captain? Where is Drusi?
That's another one. ¿Por
Where is
qué le quitaste a Ring la capitanía y se la diste a Drusi que es callado?
Yeah, man. To me, that was a misstep. Maybe I understand why they would give him the captain ban because he.
Do you understand really?
Well, the way I understand how they would make that decision is like, all right, this guy, he pretty much carried the team for a large portion of season 2.
Yeah.
And he got us. He was like the major factor that got us to where we ended up. But as an individual, right?
Right.
And he would assist. But as a proven leader, I don't think he's that man. I don't think he's that dude. Whereas maybe Ring doesn't show us the performance side of leadership,
Pero
but
tiro.
he does seem to have more command
Yeah.
of infield. I don't know in locker if it's different, but infield he screams at his players. He tries to position people. He's trying his best to do in a position that he's not naturally suited for, which is it's kind of crappy to see him the way he got cooked. He got blended in that goal with Colorado. But I mean, it is tough to look at, and I keep questioning where's Drusi, and a lot of people kind of say he can't do it all. He can't do it. But at the same time,
But
I'm like,
you
as a leader, he has to. He's accountable.
Yeah,
just
you have
like
to,
Josh Wolf is accountable.
Yeah.
Just like the front office.
Tiene que,
Those are the leaders.
Exactly. And then like say, Drusi is the type of player that I've always said, without him talking, he can make you feel good. Right now, with the whole having the band as a captain, he's not really doing what like he knows how to do best, which is the nonverbal communication, hey, acá, whatnot.
He had a
You see
beautiful
him-
play. He had the assist.
Exactly.
Where he like split them open like a watermelon, bro. Like, whew.
And the thing is, like,
Now John
I never felt like Rusi was the type of player que iba y discutía con los árbitros. He was more like, just keep playing,
Right.
Yeah.
But now as a captain, now you have to go and
Pues
talk
sí es
to the
tímido.
ref.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He did
chill.
go apply pressure cuando se fue a
El
VAR.
VAR, yeah.
He went to go there.
Right,
and
there's
he
that.
kind of stood that.
Yeah.
Like, he is showing, some signs of
Right.
leadership, and I'm gonna pressure the refs, and I'm gonna try to do something, but
But I feel like
I don't know if it's enough.
To
And-
kind of push this team to go forward
Yeah.
to make something happen.
And I think it's different. Like maybe I come from it like from a biased standpoint as someone who used to play center back and defensive mid. I think during tough moments, like your forward isn't going to be the guy that's going to be telling you to fucking haul ass and like, drop back and just, play it simple. It's going to be your guys in the back
Yep.
that are telling you like, clear the ball. Don't do stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
We're winning 1-0. Let's not get fancy. We know what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So don't try to do anything more than what we have.
Right. For
I don't
sure.
see Drusi doing that because Drusi is someone who's so talented, someone who's so much that maybe he looks at someone doing something and he's like, that was so simple. He could have just,
Mhm.
he could have done
Yeah.
what I would do. And you don't,
after the fact.
You know that
Right.
players don't
Yeah.
have the same skill level as Drusi. And maybe that
Yeah.
frustrates him too. So it's tough. It is tough to see.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this break, which for me, when he talked about, we needed a break, I'm like, dude, the season just started. How
It's
can
just
you?
started.
Hey, wait, time out. You know,
Right.
like luckily came at the right time. We can, start resetting what's going on. The next game will be after this weekend. It will be on the 8th, I think.
Mhm.
So sorry. And
LAFC.
LAFC, a tough opponent, and then we,
Oh yeah, just another easy opponent, just like
So-
Colorado and
yeah,
I mean, their player, literally talking about you need a break. Their player literally was on a plane and he hopped off, went to the stadium and scored for LAFC. Made such a big difference. And you talk about that these players, like,
and the thing is, like, we talk about a
What?
lot of like these players, and I love Boston FC players. Don't get me wrong, but I
Right.
know this is gonna probably put me in trouble. But we put these players in this pedestal where we want them to get this break and all these smiles. They traveled, dude. World Cup. None of these players play the World Cup. None of these players have to play a Champions League before the World Cup. None of these players have to come back and play their league after the World Cup. They got how many months off after the season was over?
Right.
It's about 2 months. Yeah. It's kind of like we to a certain extent we can't put these players on a pedestal. I still want to support them, but I still don't want everyone to think that they need a rest. I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, they're getting paid what they love to do.
Right.
And this is not a
privilege.
It's a privilege that a lot of people wish they could have. And I wish. It's a great opportunity. And the one thing that really pissed me off is against Dynamo. I was pretty close to the goal. Rodney Redes was walking out, laughing, joking around with people. And I don't want to be a type of hot take, controversial, but I'm just saying like what I saw, and it's kind of like, wait.
Well, it's disheartening. I mean, cuando tienen carne asadas y perdieron contra Violet, o sea, tenían carne asadas. Yo lo vi porque yo sigo las personas que trabajan en relaciones públicas de Austin FC y ahí están riéndose.
They had cookouts,
great. And that's fine. But
that's great. But
the fans at the end of the day are the ones that pay their ticket. This is why you get what you pay for.
Yeah. There's just a lot of things that
you're getting paid for.
This guys that are in the team, I hope they realize the value of, the privilege, the awesome experience of playing on the team that people want to have your back and support you.
Right.
And I really hope they understand that, because someone out there is, maybe spending $500 to take their whole family on a game.
I mean, we go back to the Violet game. I mean, look at those guys. They had time to get physically ready, but they hadn't played a professional game in such a long time, and they came here and they schooled.
Right.
And it's not to compare, but I'm sorry, I have to compare. Like, at the end of the day, it's ridiculous if your own coach is going to call you out on your fitness.
I really hope we can all pull through together.
Right.
The players, the coaches.
Right. I mean, it's not just on the players, it's the coach. It's the whole thing.
The whole environment,
it feels kind
the whole community.
On limbo. Even the fans are confused.
There's been a lot of talk about a broken locker room, problems in the locker room. But I would kind of amplify that question. Not only is it just the locker room, or is it, like you're mentioning the fans. The fans are a little bit broken too. They're a little bit divided in there. Yeah. We all have feelings of frustration, but we express them in such different ways.
Yeah.
Some people are more outward, more critical. Some people are, just are more online. But it is difficult. It is difficult to look at. But you have to question: have we lost connection? Is there a little bit lost connection in the locker room amongst the players? There's obvious lost connection with the players and the coaching staff. They're not getting it. They're not getting each other. Is there a connection lost between the players and the fans?
Right.
And then also someone mentioned the other day that you don't see mate con vos. You don't see
stuff that
things.
Worked out for you.
But here's the thing: when things are going your way, everybody's friends, dude. Everybody's good. When shit hits the fan, that's when you find out who the real fucking people around you are. And that's what these players are finding out. That's what these fans are finding out. That's what the front office and coaches are finding out.
Right. And I hope everything, like all the, the whatever media outlets we have here in Austin, I want to cover it. We do it because we love the team. We want to support the team. In any way we can, bring conversations and, at the end of the day, like, keep it all respectful too, but también es kind of like, hey, wait, ¿qué pedo?
Right. I mean, that's what media is, at least local media. You ask questions for accountability, because if you're a fan, you kind of want to read on, why is Coach Wolf doing this, or why is this and that. But I will say the impact of the lack of local media assisting to this press conference, assisting to the trainings that they only give like 15 minutes to be at. I mean, when you have this new deal with MLS, everyone was like, okay, this is great, but we're really going to see how things change. And things have changed dramatically when it comes to the coverage. I'm sorry, but...
Pero ¿sabes qué? El pedo es aquí solamente porque en en un lugar muy lejos de acá, todo el tiempo están mandando mensajes de que vamos a hacer esto, vamos a hacer lo otro. There's a Zoom call. Who wants to join? Hey, here's the, whatever application you want to do. Here it is. Every day you get a message from their FO.
Right.
And you go to that stadium, local media, big media, it doesn't matter. That shit is packed.
Who are you talking about, Richie?
LAFCs.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
LAFCs.
Right, because you want involved everyone.
They involve everyone in there.
If I was public relations, and this is not a shot at them, but it's just like you were like, hey, what are you doing? Like, there's gonna be this training. We could give you. Who do you want to talk to? Maybe we can make them available to you. Look,
you have players just going to podcasts of people like just
right.
We have our friends from
accessible.
They're accessible, and it's kind of like you're by treating these players like WWE superstars. They're not really getting, oh yeah, you can have them do the meet and greet here and there, but literally, I don't see connection.
Right, there's
that
not
I wish
a genuine
there was.
one.
It's not a genuine.
It's very.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's been players that have a good relationship and good friendship with a lot of friends that I know,
right?
And that's good. That's great.
But that's
that's
very,
a small percentage.
A small percentage.
Like the 1%er of fans, I'd like to say.
But you have players here that they'd rather, if it was up to them, they'd rather not do it, to be honest.
Right.
But there's some players that really, when they come through, man, they're out there doing it, like Stuber, for example.
Right.
But I really hope something
even
changes.
then, I mean, honestly, besides me and a few news stations, I haven't really seen that one-on-one, at least for like creatives
outside of
just TV news, your regular platform, because at the end of the day, even TV is dying. So you want to at least put that streaming, people who are whatever. And obviously there is a certain point where there's a lot of fans that go real extreme. And, as a player, you don't want to feel attacked or you don't want to feel uncomfortable in any way. I mean,
and that's where due diligence comes. You look at what they have done, you understand what they have done, and then you will know what type of questions they're gonna get.
Yeah, it's a hot mess, and you kind of go back to we could tie this into what Chicharito said, and we could talk about that game if you guys would like. But he kind of pointed out, fans, are you there to support or are you there to boo? Because they were booing Otra and other players.
That's right. Yeah, I would like to get into that a little bit when we get into the Mexico game. But just kind of my final thoughts on the Austin FC situation is like these are rough waters for all of us that support Austin FC, but we just got to keep rowing. Like all of us as fans, as media, as players, coaching staff, but we have to be real. Like the way we're playing like this, we're gonna get kicked off of every competition. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do well. And if we even make playoffs, I don't even expect to make playoffs playing the way we're playing right now. And maybe if you make it first round knockout, like I just don't have high expectations for their team. So just kind of these, first 4 or 5 games, recalibrating my expectations and just, all right, starting over. Let's keep building from here. But the expectations have changed. I don't even think about season 2 anymore. To me, that was like a past dream, a fairy tale that could have been a huge fairy tale, legendary fairy tale. But now is a new era, new expectations, and I don't mean new era because we still got the same coaching staff. Yeah, but
new season.
But
and it's just like adding that to that, like keep what you did good from last season, evaluate, embrace it, and bring it to the new season. Pero you're now having a target on you, and that's one thing. Like say. As a team that that did what they did last year, but you can't go back and every single time we talk about Austin FC, talk about how great 2022 season was. Like, no, 2023 is here, motherfuckers. Yeah,
that's why it kind of pissed me off when I heard Wolves talk about, last season we were about the same.
He hates talking about last season himself in the beginning of
when it's convenient for him to do it, he'll do it. Yeah. That's like, all right, bro, like.
It's this season.
I don't want to hear about last
what
season.
Are you gonna do now?
I don't want to hear about I don't have any center backs. Like we know what you have and what you don't have. What are you gonna do? That's my question. Like what the hell are you gonna do?
Right.
Preacher, brother Koke.
Yeah, man.
Let's go into the Mexico.
Right.
Otro coraje, otra cana más.
Como dijo Chicharito, si criticando es una cosa, pero si vas para apoyar y para buchear, o sea, eso no es
Quédate en
otra
la
cosa.
casa. Yeah.
I mean, and they're lucky that the fans at Austin FC haven't done that, honestly. I'm surprised. I don't know. But
very different fan cultures. Very different.
Yeah.
Fan
But they
cultures.
will never do it.
I know
what's
the
not
south
acceptable.
the south end won't because it's
a supporter section.
Right.
But
I don't know about outside of that.
all right, let me ask you this: as a Richie, not with anybody else, just you. You see some fans booing, not in the supporter section. What do you think? To Austin FC's,
you know what? Hey, you deserved it.
Okay.
I mean, to an extent, you deserved it. If you're like, say, it's different if you lost, pero le echaste ganas y te moriste en la cancha y si sabes que, man, my bad. Like, you know, te mataste. Aunque el ring, like, lo hayas burlado, pero él siguió la jugada desde atrás al final. Y una cosa es el fútbol y otra cosa es no echarle ganas. Pero si estás como Rodney Redes riéndote y ja, nah, cabrón. ¿Sabes qué?
Yeah.
Because you lost. Yeah.
How do you feel?
I mean, look, I went to a Liga MX game and Pachuca, who won the championship, their own fans were talking smack to the players because it's a normal thing to do. Would it happen here? I don't think so. But if someone were to do it, great. I wouldn't do it as a fan. Not the type of person, but I am one to be very outspoken and criticize where I see errors, just as much as, you know, I would take criticism myself, because at the end of the day is what I do as a former journalist, whatever, but what I've always done and what I always know. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I will ever see that happen here at Q2. But it happened at the Azteca, and I'm not surprised because a lot of those fans are very toxic and they're mad at the wrong people where it should have been, you know, for now decades, the Federation has screwed the fans over and over again. And now they're just taking it out on in my opinion, the best goalkeeper that Mexico's ever had. And, you know, he's getting treated like this. I'm sure if he goes to Italy, they're probably like, oh my God, you're...
Ochoa, no memo, no party.
Right. It's just, you know, he saved them from the World Cups.
Yeah.
Recently in the past, and it's crazy. I mean, but yeah, I mean, Koke, second game. Come on, guys.
He didn't lose.
He didn't lose. He's still figuring it out, but he's a defensive coach. He's not going to be like attack like the coaches that we had. You know, if they wanted that, then probably Piojo put it, because it was between him and Piojo, right? Yeah. They would have picked
a different type of coach.
But he's defensive, and that's what it. Do you guys watch soccer? Do you understand how he was at Atlas? Yeah. You know, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely people come in.
So they just everyone needs to relax.
They come in at it with like different expectations.
Tienen que legalizar.
It just doesn't, they don't really make sense. I can't attest to the games. I didn't fully watch the game against Jamaica because my heart could only take so much disappointment in one weekend sports-wise. Texas lost, Austin FC.
It was tough.
It was tough. But the half that I did watch, I watched a bunch of, you know, just wasted energy, wasted opportunities. Chucky looked a little imprecise in that second half. He was trying really hard, but just didn't have that precision. I saw Diego Lainez come in with a lot of energy, hit one off the crossbar. You know, it's what you expect of him to come in, be a revulsivo, somebody that kind of gives him that spark. Didn't see that. Didn't see much else from anybody else. And give it to Jamaica for going into the Azteca, which used to be a true fortress. Now is becoming more of a Austin FC fortress. You know, where
llevamos 3 perdidos.
Teams can go and they can do their thing. It's not that hard anymore.
Right.
Yeah. But
the fans are booing their own players.
The fans are booing their own players. I mean,
is it
acceptable? Sure. Would I do it? Probably not. But it's not a dream start. It's too early to tell. And I think the frustration, just like you were saying, it just looms from so much debt that the fans feel like the Federation owes them in terms of producing quality sides, exporting good talent, or just showcasing, good, young, promising talent, and we've seen the same old train kind of trucking along.
Yep.
And they take it out on legends like Ochoa.
Yeah.
A legend.
Raul Jimenez.
I agree. He shouldn't be there. He should.
Really
I don't think he should be there. Memo's different. Memo is like he plays well. Raul should not be there, in my opinion.
Santi Jimenez should have been the one coming in.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, he missed
That would have helped,
but who hasn't missed a PK? And it's like a game that doesn't even fucking matter, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
He's been doing great in Europe.
Yeah. I think this is what I look at it, and I hope, here we learn from this. People are not stupid, and you cannot sell narratives anymore. What really matters at the end of the day is results. In football, back in the days era un poquito más de que sí, pues proceso se tiene que hacer. Por ahorita la gente quiere resultados. They're not gonna believe the whole like incondicionales narrativa, the whole like estamos con ustedes, el chiquitín, al bim bomba. They don't really care about that anymore. They want to see a selección that brings results. Now, like you said, it's too early.
Yeah.
2 games. He didn't lose. I mean, he tied against Jamaica. Esos battles, they were playing their asses off.
Yeah.
Reggae boys.
They were playing their asses off. And it goes back to okay, maybe the CONCACAF is, in the World Cup, they're probably going to do great. But luckily, Mexico's the target to want to beat away and home now.
Right.
In Azteca, they're going to take advantage of the situation that people are booing you in your own stadium. And then I hope, the federation just snaps out of whatever multipropiedad, who's in charge of, like, who picked the coach, when was it picked. Hay muchos pedos entre Iraragorri, Jesús Martínez, Escarra Gallán.
It's a fucking mess.
Sí, y Vergara también. There's los guys, los que están con Telemundo, los que no están con Telemundo.
Right.
Los que TV Azteca se une a Televisa para verse con Telemundo, porque Telemundo es NBC.
CONCACAF is just a shit show, man. Both sides of the border.
Yeah, but if you look at it, like, say, the 2008 World Cup, it was, there was a good amount of shit because the rights were for NBC and were for Telemundo. And apparently they were pretty assholes on the coverage they can do Televisa and TV Azteca. So they actually became friends. And they've been enemies for so long. So they were like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend now. So I think a lot of it is politics too. A lot of it is, at the end of the day, who has the biggest pocket. But the people are realizing that, like, hey, we need change. We need something different. We need results. We need to... What would help is if they end up winning the Nations League Cup and then La Copa de Oro. That would alleviate some stuff.
But then they have the United States and they're on fire. They finally got their stuff together. Ricardo Pepi, who's another one Mexican-American representing
scored a brace.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like both federations are messed up. Yeah. So I'm sorry. There's no Mexico versus U.S. Like... No one's better than the other. Like, they're all...
In one of them, you have the nepotism of the reinas, the Berhalters.
And the other one,
money,
corruption, all the things.
We need to do an episode on soccer moms. Soccer parents.
Soccer parents.
How toxic they can be. But, if you know any toxic soccer parents out there, give a shout out. Yeah, dude. I mean...
I mean no one.
A ver qué pasa with the Nations League. But we do know that we have a standard. We have a standard for these teams, right? And I would say when I watch Mexico play, it kind of hurts me not to see them meet their potential that I know they can meet with the players that they have.
Right.
That is the
same
one
thing. I could say the same thing about the US too, but I mean, and when I see the US, score 7 goals against Granada, whoever it was, who cares? You should do that.
You should do that. Like, you're, y es que honestamente así es como le das respeto al oponente.
Exactly. You saw the lineup.
Go out there and you
like,
want to game that game. Like, you don't care whether they're Germany or they're Granada. Vas y vas con todo.
They're a little island.
Put in all your hot shots, dude.
Y así es de como, ¿sabes qué? El rival va a decir, estamos acostumbrados a esto, pero cuando tú sales con una alineación malísima a
Amrotarek.
es de...
No disrespect.
Pero,
That was crazy.
you know, like, I know we got a bit of time. I know, you know, the funny thing is, not a funny thing, but right now I think it seems like in sports, in our side, is like everything is not going what we wanted, how we wanted it to go. And whenever I started like this podcast, and I'm always gonna say it, is also to talk about, you know, like ourselves, mindfulness, talk about, you know, our experiences. Right now we're in a situation, you know, Austin FC and La Selección, they're not doing great. They had plans, they're not coming through. And us in life, we've had situations in which we had a plan, we wanted to do something, pero no salió como queríamos. And I just want to see, like, if you guys have something you want to share. It doesn't have to be something too personal, but just something like the fan can, like the audience can also, our listeners can also know, get to know a little more about us. At the end of the day, we're humans, and at the end of the day, we have, you know, we've had something in mind, but it didn't come through. But how did you react to it? You know, what was your, like Koke right now, like Koke said earlier, okay, you know, that shit is not working out, but what are you going to do about it? Like, we had a moment like, okay, you know what? Shit is, you know, already, you know, shit hit the fan, but what am I going to do about it? Like, do you guys have one? Do you guys remember?
Yeah, I mean, you go first since we always go first.
I'll go first. I would say growing up, I mean, just in life, I was...
Yeah, adversity.
Adversity. I grew up, I mean, I was born a premature baby, so
Aww.
from the beginning, then I had to take a medication, as you know, I would have...
That explains a lot.
That explains a lot, you know.
Aww.
So I'm always literally, basically, I'm always, you know, starting from negative to positive.
Yeah.
Which for me, I'm not saying like, oh, please feel bad for me, but it's just like, that's how my life is.
Sure.
I went to 20 different elementary schools when I was in Mexico City. Lived in more than 10 houses. And that was...
Because of the medical stuff?
Nah, just because of, you know, like finding a cheaper place to live. We were in the poverty side too.
For sure.
So you're like, you know, you have to go every year you have to change, or even like in a school year you have to change school 3 times. Pero te da callo. But I think like one that I really would say was the hardest one, even up to date, which we're trying to get it fixed. It was the DACA thing. That one is the one that like I would say hurt me the most, because when we got it, like, okay, it's gonna be a cushioning. So hopefully they can do something. They can see, you know, we actually want to work. We actually want to get our degrees and do things. And they can realize like, okay, we're gonna, you know, give them an opportunity to stay here forever. That hasn't happened. And it's been over 10 years. And I really thought this administration was going to come through. It didn't come through. But my thing was, you know, it's always been, at the end of the day, it's not up to them, but it's up to me. I mean, not until they really kick me out. Now I always told myself, until they kick me out, they say, you can't be here no more, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep pushing. Unfortunately, like, I haven't been to Mexico in 23 years.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things that I know when I get there, like, you know, the reaction, how's it going to be? I didn't get to see my 3 grandparents. I didn't get to bury them. They were, you know, I was here.
Right.
So it's kind of like technology, you can see that through FaceTime now. But I mean, I got some memorable ones. My grandma told me I looked like a Taliban with my beard before she died.
Like a what?
A Taliban.
Oh, wow.
Oh, a Taliban. At first I thought you said Telegram.
Yeah.
But Taliban is a lot funnier.
Yeah.
No,
And then the other one, I was like, because I've always joked with my other grandma, like the last thing I told her, I was like, ¿Estás cruda? Okay. And she was like,
Final
me
words.
duele todo.
Final words.
Aw.
Damn.
But that was like my way to say I love you.
I'm sorry.
You know, and I wish, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like, hey, like you said, like, hey, I know I don't have this, but that doesn't mean it's going to stop me from doing things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that was just one. I mean, shit happens. And that's what I would say. Like, hey, it is what it is. And you just gotta, it's not up to you at the end of the day. Like, if you rely on, and that's why maybe I diverted from church, because church was always so like relying on prayer and this, which is good if you do it. But if you don't have action with prayer, for me, like, no sirve de nada. And that's when I was like, you know what? everything is on you. Like everything is gonna, you have to depend on yourself. Okay, pero pídele a Dios que te dé la oportunidad, pero tú tienes que aprovechar la oportunidad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine.
Cheers.
Wow, man. Thanks for sharing.
What about, I mean, look, I'm sorry. I don't mean to dismiss and be like, oh, what about you? But I mean, you've done such a great job.
Yeah, dude.
Coming such a long way from, not really knowing your future. DACA, I wouldn't know. I don't know how that feels like, and not being able to go back home. So, it's about how you respond to the difficult situations, the low ones. And so I think you've done a great job. So thank you for sharing. And, for listeners who don't know anything about you, I think it would be of an inspiration.
Thank you.
For sure, man. I admire your comedy, your humor, your courage, and just your willingness to push forward through all the adversity, man. So cheers to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
For sure.
I guess if I got to share, I just go back to my time at UT, like everything leading up to that as like the oldest. I was like the first in my family to go to college. I kind of was bearing the pressure of being the example for my brother and sister, and also all the sacrifices my parents made by supporting me. And like, I didn't have to worry about anything other than just go to school. Like, just, you're going to have everything provided for you, but we just want you to go to school. Like, that's it. So that feeling of perfectionism and wanting to just accomplish it kind of came to a big ass roadblock once I went from high school to college. Like, the high schools where I came from were not, they didn't prepare me for the next step. And when I got there, it kind of kicked my ass. So I basically struggled through school a lot, architecture school. And it came to the worst point when I kind of had just like a breakdown, like a mental kind of, I just can't physically go to class anymore. Like, I'm just that, like, not going to make it. And it wasn't until I went out there and started asking for help instead of trying to be a macho, just get through it, just be tough, not talk to my family, not talk to my friends. I just had to go and get counseling, get help. That the resources are there. And that's what I learned at the end of the day. Like, there's people that want to help you. You just have to reach out and say, hey, I need help, or this is what I'm going through, and kind of opening up about it. Like we were talking earlier about being vulnerable. To me, I learned through that experience that there's a lot of strength and vulnerability in admitting your faults and what you're going through, and that you're not in a good place, and then finding the resources you need to get out of that dark hole wherever you're at. So it became one of those things, like I had an idea of this is what college would be like, and it turned from like a 5-year program to, it took me like 7 years. Like I eventually started working. And I didn't know if I would go back to school. I thought I was just going to continue working in the construction field, at a general contractor. Kind of got my experience there. And it wasn't until I met my wife, who back then was just this beautiful, amazing human being. Now is my wife. She kind of made me look and say, hey, are you going to finish what you started? Ooh. She made me be honest with myself, because at the time I was living this like, I don't need it.
That's a bad bitch.
And I looked inward and I was honest with her and with myself, and I was like, dude, she's right. She's absolutely right. So I went back, I got my degree, and I'm in a better place at a better company, working on better projects now, all thanks to finishing what I started, being open and honest of what I'm going through, and getting the help I needed. But it was not how I pictured my career and my education would go. But I tell people all the time, my family, friends, anyone that I care about, that it's going to be okay. If you need help, get help. And if you need someone just to hear you out, just be open. Just be open and talk to people you trust. That's it. So,
hey, there's one person, like last year when I was going through some shit, after we were done recording, I would talk to Koke, and he was like my venting. I needed to talk about something, and we were here for like 30 minutes just talking about it.
Yeah,
appreciate it, bro.
Anytime, man. And that goes for everybody, man, for sure.
Oh, you guys. The brotherhood here is amazing. Yeah, I mean.
It's the Otra, por favor.
Otra, por favor. And another beer, right? No. But no, I mean, look, adversity in life, it's really about how you respond to it, being uncomfortable, going through the ups and downs, enjoying when it's really great so you can know what appreciating those moments are. And then, you could, as you get older, you come to realize that you want to spend that or celebrate those big things that you've always wanted to do in your life with family and friends, for the people who you really care about. And when you're really low, then the people hopefully that you also celebrated with are still there during difficult situations. And I guess, I had a similar one with you with UT, first to graduate and all that. And I also wanted to drop out. I actually wanted to go to Texas State because I knew it was the easier school to get into. No shade on that, but I was just tired. I was like, even taking a course to learn how to do coffee is so freaking complicated. They complicate everything so much. You need to do research. You need to do, did you do this analysis? Did you read this journal? Did you read that? So they made everything super difficult. And like I said, I went to high school right up the street. So the level of education isn't the same as in Westlake, right? So no shade on that. It's just where my parents, where I grew up, where I grew up, right? That's what we could afford. And the school that we went to was up the street, and that's it. Actually, funny story. When I was in elementary, my teacher talked to my parents, and they were like, we want to bump her up a grade. And my parents, because they weren't, I don't want to say they were uneducated, but just didn't really understand what she was trying to say. They were like, no, we're going to keep her in second grade and she's not going to go to third. And I was telling her, I was like, Mom, you're telling me I could have graduated a year earlier? And I felt like a little, badass, like, I'm smart, see, blah, blah, blah. But it was, there's a point in life where you have to kind of, okay, what am I going to do in order to succeed? What's this formula that I need to figure out? Because that's how I see things. Like, what's the formula that I need to do in order to get X? And, I think, but the toughest adversity that I've been through was handling my dad when he was hospitalized and his passing. I had never been through that. I have never been married. I have none of that. And so he's my best friend, and everything that I did was for him. And I'm sorry for my voice cracking. But I think overcoming that and coming to peace with, I still struggle. Oh my God, how embarrassing. But when you come from an immigrant family, my mom didn't know what to do. I was the first to graduate. So obviously my dad put me as the power of attorney, because you trust the person that's going to ask these questions. And achieving everything that I had to achieve, but realizing that none of that mattered because it's the people who you have around. And I think after that, I never took anything for granted when it came to that. And my career has always been first, and it will always continue to be first, but I will never put that above my family. If I need to stay here and sacrifice certain things, obviously I will. But I think that adversity, when you come to that realization where the person that you always see is no longer there, I think that's the toughest adversity that a human being, like at a level of human being, like literally, I think that's the hardest that you could, achieve, where you're able to move on with life without 100% moving on, if that makes sense. And I think, obviously, I'm so sorry. How embarrassing. When that happened to me, kind of rocked my world. And it was at the start of Austin FC's inaugural season. And I wasn't trying to get involved, but, you have to pick up where you left off, and you have to continue to move on. And, do what it makes you happy. And I think at the end of the day, whatever makes you happy, personally, then of course achieve it. Go for it. You know, at the end of the day, people are going to tell you no, no, no. And I may know that for so long, but you will always regret if you don't go out and at least ask for help or whatever. And you know, in certain situations, everything's very specific. Everyone has their own stories, and I'm not trying to compare or anything, but yeah, I mean, I think that was the biggest adversity. And, you know, obviously my voice breaks when I bring that up, but you know, that's, yeah, I mean, I even lose words. And, you know, journalism is great. It's what I wanted to do. My dad always wanted me to be a nurse or do something more secure. But, I mean, I love it. I love sports, and I'm not giving up. But it's even that in itself, making it, I mean, it's so hard, you know, as a woman, too. I mean, we've talked about this before. And it's just hard. I mean, in sports general, breaking it, even if you're a guy, I mean, locally, you could cover it to a certain extent, and then the pay isn't great. You want a house, you want to build a family, TikTok, you know, it's a lot of things that, you know, you sacrifice with certain career aspects. But yeah, I mean, moving forward in life, I think that's just kind of, you know, the biggest thing that I take away. And, you know, I'm going to take this to a different direction, but I also, my heart as a journalist, as a TV news producer, also goes out to the families in Nashville. You know, we're not even 90 days into this year, and we have 129 mass shootings, and it's hard. Like, I understand mental health is a thing. I understand, you know, people's rights and what they want to do with owning guns and all that, but it's just, sometimes this country, it could be really great and it could be really bad. And so it's just, it's murky water. And, you know, at the end of the day, everything's about making money, and, you know, who you elect and who you don't, what you think, what you don't, how you act. You know, actions speak louder than words. But it's just, yeah. I mean, it's tough, man. We ended it on a hard note, but I kind of like, wow, Richie.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
That was
Michelle.
I mean,
thank you.
Wow, that's annoying. I'm so sorry.
No, it's not annoying at all. It's actually appreciated. Like, sorry we put you in a spot, or you know.
I wasn't. I mean, like, we've all been through adversity.
Yeah. I mean,
so,
but you touched on the greatest adversity we could face as human beings, the loss of our loved ones.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know that's something that is a continuing healing process. I don't know what it feels like to lose a father, but you know, we've all lost people in our lives, and but just the type of bond that you had with your father, you talk about him all the time. So in that way, you definitely keep his memory alive through your memories and the way you talk about the beautiful game. That I know that you shared a lot of memories with him, and I know that you know, just seeing what you're doing and what you've done and what you continue to do. I mean, we're all proud of you, and we deeply admire what you do, and wish you nothing but the best, Michelle. And you know, we're always here for you too.
For sure, thank you.
Yeah, at the end, like having you here, it's been great. Like, it's not to take advantage of your knowledge and everything, but it's just like hearing your conversations and hearing, you know, like where you come from and what you've done and how you add to the table is like, man, why are, you know, anybody out there like really taking advantage of like her experience? Like, that's what bothers me the most. Is just like, you have someone here that can do some amazing things in the round table, and they should be looking into, you know, if it's not here, Austin FC, if they don't do it, like, you know, somewhere else is gonna take advantage of that. And I really hope like you really get what you're looking for, because you earned it and you deserve it, because you have that knowledge. Like, you know how to communicate, you know how to, you know, there's like in sports, you know, what I've seen lately is a lot of people, you know, when they talk, they always want to be right, but there's never really a dialogue. And you're good at bringing the dialogue to the table. Yeah. You're good at, let me hear what you're saying.
It is refreshing.
Porque sí, ¿por qué no?
Because like we were talking about it earlier, most sports talk is very broy.
Yeah.
And it's very, the louder I say it, the more right I am.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But I want to comprehend, and these
it is
are
refreshing.
yeah. I mean, and like I said, all credit to my dad because we would literally, it was me, him, and my brothers, and I would be like, so why do y'all think that? Blah blah blah. Why does this happen? You know, so this all stems from years and since I was little, where I would ask questions because I was curious, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
And, yeah.
It's been an episode, and I like it. I think I've you know, like we're literally football, vida and cultura, and we literally just touched all three of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I appreciate you guys being vulnerable and sharing your stories.
Very vulnerable today.
Yeah, man, I guess this parting thoughts for me, like just kind of summing this up, man. Just investing in yourself and your family and the things that enrich your life. I mean, that seems to be the key that can get you through adversity. You know, the times that I've screwed up, it's because I was putting like all my effort or investing time into things that didn't give a shit about me. You know, that maybe weren't healthy.
Yeah.
So value people's time. You know, the most valued resource we have. You know, we're here for a limited amount of time, so let's be kind to each other while we're still here.
Yeah, I mean, we're all gonna have differences. We're all gonna have a, you know, I feel like I'm right and you're wrong type of moment. There's a way to say it, and that can be in person, that can be in social media. But at the end of the day, is, you know, everything's gonna be all right. Como me dice este Sonny Guadarrama.
Oh,
So.
everything is gonna be all right. Everything has an answer. I mean, everything will work out in its right time. If things don't happen now, it's because it will happen later, and that's just in everything in life. So you don't question it. You just do your best, and everything will work out. And with that note, we'll see you on the other side, guys.
Adelante.
Se cuidan,
Adelante,
se portan
Austin
bien.
FC.
Come on, Austin.
Adiós. Y ahora de pinche Wolf, ponte las pilas, cabrón. Vámonos.
Las pilas.
Adiós.
Adiós.
Bye.
Arriba el América.
El Rival América.
Hey.
Man United, baby, let's go.
That's fake. I said that fakely.